Okay, right, like I promised, I'm going to give you a quick update on the Miller Syncrowave pulse controls. I got it wrong last time. It's got a few little idiosyncrasies that can confuse you. So for anyone who's interested, here's a very quick update what I've done so I can watch the meters. As I've just pointed my torch, laid it on a bench, pointed at a big block of copper here. That'll sit there quite happily while I mess around. Let's just tighten up the arc a little bit. That'll sit there quite happily while I mess around and watch the meters. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me when I fire this thing up, but what it was is a little bit of confusion. This on the background current, this scale here, although it goes from 0 to 100, it's not a percentage of the main current, which it is on a lot of machines. It's a kind of an arbitrary number. If you set it about 20, the background current happens to be about 25 amps. I haven't turned it right up yet to find out. Everything else is conventional, pulses per second, and percent on time is the peak on time, not as I suspected. Well, I'll tell you what's happening later. Now the weird thing is, because this is not a percentage of the set current, I thought I was running 50% background. Actually I was running 50 on this number, which may correspond to 80 or 90 amps, and 60 on here, so I was getting a reverse pulse background higher than main, so that was totally confusing me. Now I'll just set that back to around 20. Main current set to, you can set your main current first, so you're welding at 50 thou steel with a foot pedal. You can set 60-70 amps to give you a bit of spare travel on the pedal. And the background current, well, as I'm getting used to it, I know 20 is going to be about 20 amps, which is about 30% of 60, which often works if I need to use a pulsar, which I often don't, but anyway, just for fun, we'll see what happens. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me when I fire up the machine, but I'm going to fire up the machine, press the pedal. The background current is always fixed here. The main current ramps up with the pedal until you reach the current that you've set here. So what will happen is it'll start off on background current, hopefully around 20 amps. Increase as I press the foot pedal, the main current will increase from a small current 10, which will be reverse pulse, up to 60 or 70. Right, let's try that. Okay, just going to press the pedal. There, I've got actually a reverse pulse. As I increase the pedal, I've got a positive pulse, which is where we should be, and pedal all the way, about 60-65 amps. Again, the confusing thing there, with the pedal set the same as the background, I've got no pulse, and there I've got an inverse pulse. Now if I increase the background, again I got a reverse pulse until I step on the pedal, and then I got the correct pulse, which is kind of a little bit confusing. You can see it pulsing away there. Reduce the background. There we go. And that is all a little bit confusing until you get used to it, but like everything, a little bit of time, and once I get to know roughly what these numbers correspond to, I think it's something that you just get used to and get your head around with a little time on the machine. Likewise, the start current is the same, it's calibrated from 1 to 10. It doesn't mean any actual amperage or any actual percentage. You just have to do a few little experiments to read the meters until you get to know it. Anyway, I hope this corrects the situation and, you know, helps out anyone who's got one of these machines or thinking of buying one of these machines. It's not a fault with the pulsar, it's just a sort of an idiosyncrasy.